Hello, this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me today. And today we're on week 9 or part 9 of my card making for beginners course, and today I'm going to teach you another technique to use to expand your technique library of stamping techniques that you can use on your cards. And today what we're going to do is we're going to be using markers, our Stampin Write markers, to colour direct onto the rubber stamp to give a two-toned image. We're going to be using Lovely You again, because I know that's a set a lot of you have bought who have been following this series. We're going to be using the stamping markers. Actually, most of my colours, in fact, I think you could probably do this. The stamping markers are available in family sets, so you have to choose whether you want brights or subtles or whatever. I think actually I've chosen 3 brights, 1 regal and 1 subtle here, but you could actually do it with a combination from one family if you wanted to save having to buy all the sets. And they're water-based markers. They have a brush tip and a bullet tip, and you can tell by the thick line and the thin line which is which. So this is the brush end and this is the bullet end. So that's a very fine line that one writes with. And I usually use the brush end, I have to admit. Anyway, let's get started. So I made this little card first of all, and this is not made with markers, but I just wanted to show you. This is the design of the card we're going to make, but this is just stamped with normal stamp pads. So a block of colour, put in the stamp pad and stamp, and that's what you get. So the whole of the flower is pink or purple, the whole of the line, the leaves are green. Now what happens if we use our markers, we get a lot more delicate shades. So you can see they're a lot paler than the colours from our actual ink pads, but you get this lovely variation of colour. So you can get two-tone leaves, and you can colour the centre of your flower in a different colour. So I'm going to continue with this and just show you how I did it. So I'm going to take the leaf. So this is the leaf that goes there. So I've got to try and work out now which colour went where, because I want them to match. So no, the opposite way around. So I'm taking my Granny Apple Green marker and I'm just using the brush end to go straight onto the rubber. Now use the lightest colour. If you're doing this technique, use the lightest colour first, because you don't want to get the dark colour on your tip of your pens. So if you do this, it won't matter. So there. So this is Granny Apple Green. I'm doing half the leaves. And do make sure when you're doing this that you don't use our Stampin' Blends. They're alcoholic markers, or alcohol markers, not alcoholic, alcohol markers, and they won't do this technique effectively. So you need water-based markers to do this. You may already have some markers in your stash, but of course they won't coordinate with all our Stampin' Up colours. That's the advantage of having the Stampin' Up ones, is we know they'll coordinate with all the other colours. So I'm just doing the other half of the leaf in garden green here. But again, you could use any combination of any 2 greens, or if you wanted to be a bit rogue, you could go off-road and use different colours for the leaves. Right, now, as I've been colouring, those pens have been drying on there, and if I stamp now, actually, let me just pick up a piece of paper. If I stamp now without doing anything, I'll get a very muted image. So you can see that's a lot more muted than I've got on there. And that's because I need to huff on it to moisten the ink just before I stamp. So I now need to go over that again. And you can see this is why I did part of the card before, because it would have been a bit tedious to watch me doing all of this, because it does take a lot of time, but you do get a lovely effect, and it's just so nice to have all these different colours on one stamp. So you can use more than one colour if you want to, 2 colours if you wanted to. You could use 3 or 4 even, but do remember to huff before you stamp it. So I've just re-inked that now with my markers. Just make sure you've gone over. And of course, if you did this using the Stamparatus, if you did miss a bit, you could actually go back and re-stamp. But I'm just doing this by hand today. So I'm just huffing on the stamp so that the moisture from my breath will moisten the stamp. There we go. And there we are. Okay, so I'm going to do one more. I just want a little leaf there. So there we go. So I'm just going to colour in that one little leaf because I just want that to come up between, and then I'll move on to doing the flowers. So huff again and just pin that there. There we go. Meant to put a bit of scrap paper under there so it didn't ruin my grid paper, but hey ho. Right, okay, and then we come to the flower, and the flower has got the same yellow centre, which is with Melon Mambo. So again, I'm using the brush tip, but just using the very point of it to colour in the yellow. And the next one along here needs to be in purple. So this is a lovely technique to use on stamps where you want to get a 2-tone or a 3-tone image. Very easy to do this with these markers, and I have to say they last forever. I bought these when I first joined, which was over 4 years ago, and they're still all going strong. I haven't come across one that's dried out yet, so that's good. Give it a huff, and there. And now I need a pink one, so I need to clean that off. Find my chamois. Go. So I'm going to use Melon Mambo. So that was Highland Heather I did, or I need to do the centre first. We'll do the yellow first, otherwise you might pick up pink or purple on your yellow, which wouldn't be good. So just colour the centre and then colour the rest of the flower. So of course you could do all the pink ones and then all the purple ones if you wanted to, if you were doing a similar pattern to me. You could do them all in the same colour, that would save a little bit of time as well. I just decided to make it just a little bit more interesting. There we go. And then after I've done this one, I think I just need one more to fill that space in there. So just clean it off again. Isn't this a fun technique? And doesn't it look like, look at the difference. I know these are brighter colours, but look at the difference. Look how nice this looks with all the different colours in it. Right, okay, so we need that, and we need Highland Heather. So the temperatures have come down a bit this week in the UK, which is lovely. Really good news. There we go. And this is going to go off, so I will bring my bit of scrap paper to try and save my grid paper. I do like a nice pristine piece of grid paper. This is going to go off the edge there, and we're done. There we go. Now my piece of cardstock measures, where's my measurements, 11 by 7.5. So I have cut a piece of Highland Heather 4 millimeters bigger on each side. So this is 11.4 and this is 7.9 because I wanted a tiny border. I only wanted 2 millimeters around there, so that will fit on there, and it's just a 2 millimeter border all the way around. Oh, before we do that, let's stamp the sentiment. I'm going to use, I didn't use a sentiment on the other one, but I'm going to use a sentiment today. I'm going to use a sentiment from the same stamp set. This is Just Because. So this can be another little card in my stash to send to anybody for whatever reason I find I need to send them a card. There we go, Just Because. Oh, I love it. Love those fonts on that. And then I need to bring in some glue, which I forgot to get out. Here we go. So just bring in some Tombow. Just a bit around the edge there. Glue that down. And then this is going to mount onto our note cards, one of our note cards. Like so. Isn't that pretty? Love it. There we go. All done. Very simple technique. Do have a go. There's several stamps in Lovely You that you could use it on. There we go. And in a minute I might come back and I might just stamp a leaf and a flower inside. I'm not going to do that on camera though. Right, and that's it. So you can see the difference that it makes if I bring the other one in again. So if we were just using stamp pads, that's the kind of image we'd get. If we do this, I think this looks quite delicate and very pretty. So I hope you like that. Hope that's given you another technique in your armoury of stamping techniques using markers to stamp. Our Stampin Write markers. Hope you'll have a lovely day. If you want to buy anything that I've used today, they're all available in my shop. There'll also be a list on my blog post where you can link through to each item individually. I'm glad to say that I've had new team members joining, so if you'd like to become a member of the Paper Daisy Crafters, please contact me. You can ask me any question you like, but the deal is there really is no catch. You can buy £130 worth of goods for £99. If you don't want to do anything else, you don't need to, but if you do, there's all sorts of opportunities that will open up to you. Anyway, that's it from me today. Have a lovely day, and I will see you again soon. And do come back next Tuesday for the next episode of our card making for beginners. Thanks very much. Bye bye.